People are struggling to pay their bills, often relying on credit cards, and it's not entirely their fault. We have inflation hitting the US and Canada at record levels, and interest rates are predicted to rise to combat the horrible inflation. Becoming unemployed is also always a going concern, and it's becoming even more difficult for everyday people to be able to afford cars and homes.
You couldn't afford this thing if you lived to be a million.
And to float a mortgage, and even be able to afford a down payment for a young person, without them having to run to mom or dad for it. I used to wonder to myself, how am I doing financially? How do I compare to my coworkers, my friends? Do I have less debt than them? Do I make more money than them? How are my retirement and savings and investments compared to theirs? It's a natural human tendency to want to compare ourselves to other people just to see how we rank. Am I any closer towards my retirement goals and have more in investments than maybe they have? I did some research, and these are the average and median ranges of what people have saved. Look at the median amount, not the average, as these numbers are heavily skewed by the super rich. If you fall slightly under this average median salary range, I wouldn't panic and run out and say, oh my gosh, I need to make more money quickly. It depends on so many other factors: where you live, what part of the country, your age, what industry you're in, what job you have. So don't panic just yet, as your financial situation is different compared to everybody else's. The average household income is $87,000 before tax. 67% of Canadians and Americans have no idea how much their monthly expenses are. It's kind of like how many calories you consume every day. Nobody really knows, you just kind of go ahead and do it and wonder at the end of the day. 58% of Canadians and Americans are also living paycheck to paycheck and have a reoccurring line of debt, such as a credit card. In order to pay their bills every month, they are continually putting money or maintaining a balance on their credit card and carrying that over to the next month and to the next month. As you can see by this chart, these are the average debt levels per person broken down by age. Millennials and seniors currently have the lowest level of debt, with a range of $8,000 to $14,000, while middle-aged people have the highest level of debt, carrying an average annual balance of $32,000 per year. Like I said, there's so many factors that go into determining a person's financial status and how they're faring. So I wouldn't panic and worry if you see your newest coworker going out and buying a brand new vehicle, wondering, how can they afford that? I can't afford that. For all you know, they're continually going into debt each and every month. Maybe they spend absolutely everything they make. You don't know. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Aaron, a 20-year corporate accountant and analyst. I've worked for multi-billion-dollar corporations before, and I'm also a seasoned investor. I want to share my knowledge about investing and personal finance. I want people to consider and really think and ponder about how they view money and take that into consideration. Here are the key points to consider if you're wondering how you're doing financially. Emergency fund. If you've been able to set aside an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of your net income that you don't touch, you to set aside in case of emergencies, you're 80% better off than most people. 22% of Americans, or 1 in 5, have no emergency savings at all. And 57% of Americans don't have enough to cover a $1,000 emergency if the need arose. Even if you have 1 to 2 months set aside, that is something to be proud of. You want the money easily accessible and set aside that you don't touch and is only for emergencies. I personally put my emergency fund into a high-yield savings account. That way I earn interest and inflation doesn't continue to eat at it, depreciating the value. This is only for emergencies, like I said, so it's not for buying a gift or for an unexpected expense such as a little bill that just came up. It's for a needed emergency, such as a car repair because you have to get to work, a house expense, a health emergency, something of that nature. The key word being emergency. Automated investments and expenses. If you have a process in place in which you automatically pay your expenses and you take 10 to 15% of your net income and pay yourself first and set it aside every month, in which this goes into a diversified portfolio such as index funds or ETFs, you're pretty much doing better than 80% of the population. Having a budget and monitoring your spending. I don't care whether this is a simple spreadsheet or an application on your phone. If you are casually monitoring your expenses and your spending habits, and you're aware of what you spend and where your money goes, you are already doing much more than most people would who couldn't be bothered to take the time to do it. So give yourself a pat on the back for that one. Everybody hates budgeting. It sucks, it's tedious, but it's just one of those things you have to do. It will really help your financial future in the long run. If you develop a micro habit of doing it each and every month, pretty soon you get used to it and it's not so bad. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, would you mind smashing the like button, as it tells the YouTube algorithm that I made a good video that's decent and people enjoy watching. Also, consider subscribing if you want to learn more about investing, personal finance, and how to shape your money mindset. The comparison game. It's natural human tendency to want to always compare yourself to others, your peers, your friends, your coworkers. But if you're always doing this, sorry, but you'll always lose, as there will always be somebody who has more, is better off somehow, knows something you don't, has just bought something that you can't afford. It's a losing battle. I would actually rather look poor but be financially independent and well off, rather than put on a fake facade and have people think I'm doing really well, when in all actuality I'm covered in mounds of debt and can barely afford to make my house payment. That's why, over the last decade, I've made really good, sound financial decisions. I am building long-term wealth and looking out for my financial needs and the financial needs of my family. And that's my primary concern. At this point, I'm not really concerned about what strangers, other people think of me, or how I'm perceived in society. Buy things to enhance your life. There's a common misconception out there that you should buy next to nothing, you should live on bread and water and sit on the couch and never go out, never go on vacation, and invest everything you possibly can. I don't believe in this.
Makes you miss out on what's really important in this life.
I believe that people should spend a certain amount of money on the things that they think will enhance their life, that they enjoy. Back when I was younger, I was really into fast cars and loved everything about having a sleek automobile. However, now I'm older and I'm not really that much into cars anymore. What I do like is home theater systems and going on vacations with my family. It's all about prioritizing what is important in your life right now. You monitor and track your credit score. If you're aware of what your credit score is and try to monitor it and keep having it moving upwards in a positive direction, you are much farther ahead than most people. Most people are aware that having a high credit score is good, but they are unaware of how much savings they can actually enjoy by having a high credit score. Even having a credit score of 750 to 800 compared to 650 to 700 can drastically improve your interest rates on your home. I have a credit score well over 800, and it took years of consistently paying my bills on time and keeping my debt low in order to achieve that credit score. If you read, learn, and talk about finances, if you enjoy casual conversations about money, like to pick up books, articles, go online, even watching this video, this shows that you're probably further ahead than most people. A lot of people are scared of finances, not sure where they stand, and they often put it to the side and don't want to look at it. Even understanding the basics about how dividends are paid, how the stock market actually works, the basics of investing itself, this puts you much farther ahead than many people. Having multiple sources of income. Many people rely on their 9-to-5 job as their sole source of income. Picture a table standing on one leg. The one leg obviously represents having one steady stream of income, the 9-to-5 job. Now, if I were to chop out that leg from underneath, the table would of course fall. Now picture having a table with 4 legs on it. Same scenario, I chop out one leg from underneath, there are still 3 legs for the table to stand on. This creates financial stability by having multiple sources of income. The absolute best scenario for you creating another source of income is for you to start your own business. You identify a problem in the market that you can solve, you figure out how to market that product or service, and then sell it at a profit. That's basically it in a nutshell. And please don't fall for all these online gimmicks trying to sell and pump and promote a course on you about a side hustle. You just have to sign up for the course. Many times it's just a waste of your time and energy. But that's a story for another video. You have a good money mindset and are very aware of your income and expenses and how to manage them. If you practice little habits such as the 72-hour rule, when you see something that you like and you possibly want, you don't buy it for 72 hours. This gives you time to think about the decision, ponder if it's the correct one for you, and whether you actually need it or you just want it. If you are making informed, clear financial decisions and every month progressively moving towards a set financial goal, you are probably much further ahead than many people. Many people, when it comes to retirement, are either relying on a government pension, family and friends, or other external factors to look after them in their golden years. By having a set retirement goal and planning for the future, you are much farther ahead than many people. Just by making small incremental improvements every day, week, or month in your life can have a dramatic impact over the long term. This is actually one of the key principles discussed in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. James talks about how just making little habits every day, little micro changes to your lifestyle, can dramatically impact you over a set number of years. Imagine a plane at an airport. It's taking off, it's leaving London, and it's headed for Toronto. As it departs, it makes a 3 degrees sun correction. It starts heading south a little bit more, only by 3 degrees. But given over the set number of miles and time it takes, by the time it's traveled that same distance, when it hits its destination, it's actually more close to Florida than Toronto. It's just that 3 degrees correction that dramatically impacted where that plane ended up. This same principle can be applied to your lifestyle. If you just make a 3 degrees correction every day, week, or even month, you'll be amazed at where you are in 5, 10, 15 years. Oh, this month I'm going to learn a little bit about investing or dividends. Next month I'll do up a silly budget I've been meaning to. You'll be amazed 5 years down the road where you are and how far you've come compared to some of your friends. Even though you shouldn't be comparing yourself like we discussed. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I also made a great video on the top AI jobs and salaries that are currently in demand by companies right now. These are what companies want in 2023 from potential employees. This video contains the top AI skills, AI salaries, and links to absolutely free courses that you can take for AI. I'll link that video right here.